life is all about relationships. And that's what I learned after reaching all those goals at 20, 21 years old is like relationships is what matter. That's what you're going to have for the rest of your life, you know. Like if I was doing this by myself, I probably would have quit way back whenever I was 19. Like it's because of these guys and because of helping these clients who can't mow their lawn or can't do these landscaping jobs.
Welcome to the Pay It Forward podcast. My name is Austin Sewert. I am one of your hosts.
And I'm Keegan Walls.
And we are here today with Colton LeClaire, who is a younger entrepreneur in the area, owns a landscaping company, firefighter, has a lot of stuff going on. I've had the opportunity to speak at Leading with Power here in La Crosse with Colton, and I've kind of got to know him through that and mutual friendships and relationships. So welcome, Colton.
Thank you.
We usually start this out by just sharing with us a little bit about your story. And I mean, some of the guests that we've had on have been towards the end of their career, their entrepreneurial career. Sure. Some have been right in the middle. You're kind of our first guest that's younger. So share a little bit about where you came from and where you're at now.
All right. So I grew up in Holman, Wisconsin, originally born in Atlanta, Georgia. So I lived there for 8 years of my life. Moved up here because of our family being up here. I graduated Holman in 2017. I knew right away I wanted to get into the fire service. My uncle's captain at La Crosse, so I'd always go there and visit him at the stations. So right away I got my EMT from Western Technical and got hired at the Holman Fire Department. So I was working there as like part-time, paid on call. And then I got my associate degree from Western with my fire science. Then got hired at Onalaska Fire Department, was there 9 months, and then now I'm at La Crosse, been there for 3 years. I started my landscaping business in 2017. So I called it Brothers Lawn Care. I just wanted to create a business that I could do with my brother and kind of keep our relationship together, because I know that once you kind of get out of your mom's house, it can kind of change. So with me moving out, I kind of wanted to keep that relationship with him. So that first summer we mowed like 20 lawns. It was really kind of just me doing it because he was still in high school. So I would drive around with my pickup truck and my dog in the front seat and do these 20 lawns once a day, 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. Super boring. Just got tiring. And that next summer, I had Weiland Properties knock on my door, and they owned 60 properties. So I was up to 80 properties then. And that was the same summer that I got hired at the Onalaska Fire Department. So now I'm trying to juggle 80 properties while my first full-time fire job. And I still don't know how I did it because I wouldn't plan out my summers. I would just message my buddies like a week before and be like, hey, you guys available to help me mow? Like, what? How about next week, Tuesday, you know? And, like, we would just fly by the seat of our pants, and we would do 80 in 2 days. Like, because he would just own blocks of duplexes or cul-de-sacs of twindos or whatever. So then the next 2 years, I lost him, and I kind of had to go out and then figure out sales and marketing and try and figure that out to get my own clients and bring them in. So now we're up to 83 lawn clients. We got into landscaping. Altogether, we deal with like about 164 clients, and 83 of those are lawn. So,
wow,
awesome.
Yeah,
that's super cool.
Yeah.
Don't you guys do lights too now?
We do. Yeah. I got into that 2 years ago, and I'm hoping I can keep scaling that because that's a great.
How does that work? Do I have to own my own lights and you come? You're talking to a guy who's like afraid of. So my wife really wants Christmas lights. Yeah. I'm deathly afraid of heights. Okay. So I told her, look, if we ever put lights up, they're never coming down. Yeah.
Hire us. We'll come out there.
Boom. I got to buy my own lights, or you provide them?
So we provide them. So they're commercial grade, 60,000 hour C9 bulbs, like the vintage looking ones. Yep. I will come out or use Google Earth to measure out where you want them. We can do like bushes or whatever. Then you buy the lights through us. So that first year is a little bit more expensive because you're buying the lights through us. But then years after that, you just pay a flat rate. So that flat rate's $750, and that'll cover the first year custom cutting the lights to length. It'll cover maintenance. So if a bulb or strand falls, we'll come out and fix it. Removal whenever you want them down, and then we store them for you until the next year.
That's a good deal.
Yeah.
I might have to hit you up.
Do it.
For sure. So why landscaping? Why, out of all the businesses, and for those that know my story, I mean, that's how I started in the landscaping business. That was my first business. So I'm sure we'll have a lot to talk about on that, but why landscaping?
I think it's got to just be because of my uncle. So he, with firefighting, would mow some lawns on the side, and he had like 15 or 20 in La Crescent. And so for me to stay busy in high school, I'd go over to La Crescent and help him mow these 15, 20 lawns. And like he kept saying how like he just kind of wants to sell them and get rid of them and doesn't really enjoy it. And he's always got to stay busy too. And so he sold me whenever I turned 18, like a trailer and some of the equipment and all that, and then 5 lawns. So that first summer I went out and got 15. That's how I got the 20. And so I think it's just because that's kind of all I really knew was to do that. I also lost my dad whenever I was in 6th grade. And so with that, I had to take care of my mom's house then. And so then, I don't know why, I just felt like I should go out and try and get some money at 10, 11 years old. So I would take my dad's tractor that I would set off the weight limit. So it always, any bump I would hit, it would kind of shut off on me. So I had to short fuse that. And then I'd pull our push mower and go around and knock on doors, seeing if they'd want me to mow for $15-20. It looked horrible. Like there'd be like mohawks down the line. And I still can't believe they paid me, but they're like, yeah, come back next week. We'll pay you again. And so that's kind of, I guess, where it started, was doing that. So yeah, I just saw my uncle doing it and went after that.
So, I mean, do you think losing your dad at a young age obviously had to be incredibly hard? Do you think that is kind of a driving force of you wanting to succeed for your family and provide for your family at a really young age?
Yeah, and looking back at it, I think that was my mindset. Not like back then, I wasn't thinking like, oh, I need to do this. But looking back at it, maybe that's an avenue that I was thinking I needed to go down. Was like, I need to start providing. Like my mom, I think she had a job at the time, but then that's whenever she started getting into real estate and being a realtor. And then my brother just being 4 or 5 years old. So, I mean, it was lawn care. I also had lemonade stands that I would set up and try and do that. And then, like, I wouldn't get enough clients for that. So then I'm like, well, let's go door to door and start selling lemonade. And so I went door to door, and then they were building houses in our neighborhood. And the construction crews over there, I'd go over there and start asking those guys if they'd want to buy stuff. And
so sales was in your blood.
Yeah.
You love it. Holy cow.
yeah.
That's awesome. I mean, I did lemonade stands with my sister, but nobody'd show up and we'd just drink the lemonade.
Yeah.
I'm not going, hey, I could go door knock.
Right.
So that's awesome.
Yeah.
So for like, dude, I think landscaping is like every young kid should start landscaping and mowing lawns. And my story is a lot of the same, of using my dad's lawnmower.
Yeah.
And this was before I even had a driver's license. I wasn't even 16. I started when I was 14 or 15. So my parents had to literally drive me to the places to mow lawns and to do landscaping and stuff like that. But there's so much opportunity out there to make a lot of money as a young kid, to get your feet wet into entrepreneurship, into business. But there's a need for it, right? Like everybody's got to mow their lawn, whether they're going to do it or they're going to hire somebody to do it. Needs to be done. And if a young kid shows up the door ready, willing, and able to work for a reasonable price, and they're a go-getter and they're a hustler, like, people respect that.
Right. Yeah.
And I like working with people like that are up-and-comers, that are hungry and are motivated and they want to do things the right way. And I just think there's no better way. Even you can buy a used push mower for $100 off of Facebook Marketplace and go around door to door in your neighborhood, do some lawns until you can get enough to upgrade the mower or upgrade the truck. And I love it.
I mean, there's no excuse for someone not to be making money in this day and age.
Yeah.
I mean, like everyone's hiring, so at least just go out and get a job.
For sure.
And then, like, even if you wanted to start a lawn care company, do exactly like that. Like, borrow your dad's mower, go out and mow your lawn for free, and then go do your neighbors or something.
Yep.
And then once you start getting some money rolling in, like, pay your buddy $15. You bring in $10. So that's $10 you weren't making before. You know, like once you start getting more clients, it pays for itself.
Yep.
So
Was that ever? Sorry, Keegan, I don't mean to keep jumping in. Was that ever like a hurdle for you? Because I remember when I was younger and I didn't really understand delegation and hiring employees and stuff like that. I felt like if I can do that job myself, even if it takes me a little longer, then I'm just going to do the job myself instead of hiring somebody to do it. I saw it as that's just taking away from my profit. Did you ever have to cross that hurdle?
Yeah, it was. And then it was that first summer of just getting not burnt out, but like doing 20 lawns in one day by yourself can get very boring, and you're talking to your dog and it's 90 degrees in there. Like it's not good. So then you look at other companies and you're like, okay, if they can scale it to that point, how are they doing that? Yeah. And their boss is not out there doing the work. So you know that you're gonna have to get to that point eventually. Yep. So just trust the process, and you gotta designate tasks. So.
Yep.
Did you just figure it out as you went? Because I think a lot of times for people out listening, or when I was younger and stuff, it was always, man, it'd be so cool to own a business. Mm-hmm. But it's always that, okay, besides just buying the business, how the heck do you get started? Then if you do get started, what do I do?
Yeah.
And people are saying LLC. People are saying this corporation thing. How the heck do I pay taxes?
Yeah. 100%.
How could I ever scale? Or how do I know, okay, now I got this much money. Now I know I actually have enough money to buy new parts and I'm not going to go under. Like, how'd you figure it out?
Just as it goes, you just got to get into it. And that's what I tell everyone. Like, so many people ask me, like, how can I start this? Like, you just got to do it. Like, be illegal and not start an LLC at first, and then you'll figure it out. And then starting an LLC is stupid easy.
Yeah.
Just go online and start it.
$130.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I think the next thing I needed was to register my truck and trailer DOT, because I didn't know that I needed that. Well, I was doing that for 2 years without it, and thankfully I never got pulled over. But so now you know. So you just figure things out as it goes. But like the biggest piece of advice is you just got to start. Like just do it. So many people keep thinking that they can start tomorrow or the next day, but like we're not guaranteed to the end of today. Like you just got to do it. So.
Yep.
Yeah, and so then besides your uncle, did you have anybody else, like was mentorship or somebody kind of taking you under their wing, or somebody that you could bounce questions off of, or were you just, no, I'm just going to figure this out?
Yeah, like with the lawn care, it was my uncle, and then everything else was my mom. Like I give her so much credit because she just helped me out tremendously, and helped me out with the LLC, helped me out with financial decisions, set me up with her accountant, who then was able to help me with taxes, because I do not understand those things at all. So it's so nice just giving them everything at the end of the year. But so I'd say those two, my mom and my uncle.
That's awesome. Yeah. So how many employees are you up to
now? We're up to like 10 W-9 employees, and then I contract out my high school help, so 1099s. All together we have like 16, 17 guys that help out. 10 of them are firefighters that are either full-time or going to school to be. So I tell everyone, I'm like, hey, just a heads up, if you don't know what you're doing with your life, you're going to be a firefighter by the end of this summer. And so far, everyone is on that path. They show up not knowing what they want to do, and then they're going to school for firefighting.
Yeah. Brothers Lawn Care, sponsored by
Lacrosse Fire Department.
So what was I going to say? Why firefighting? Why did that, other than your uncle was a firefighter as well? Obviously there's not a lot of money in firefighting. So what's your motivation behind that?
I always wanted to give back to the community. So after losing my dad, the community was there for me. Everyone from the church to the school to people out in our neighborhood, just helping me out and pouring into me and wanting to teach me things and all that. So I just wanted to give back. And to me, that's what I wanted to get into firefighting for. I also looked at like the logistical side of things with the pay. You start off at 56,000. After 3 years, like I'm up to like 65 right now. So it's not terrible, but it's able to pay for your bills and your cost of living, and then your side hustle can bring in your fun money.
Yep.
The benefits is huge. So health insurance and dental you're paying a fraction to what most other people are paying, especially whenever it comes to having a family. And then the pension was probably the biggest thing too. So you're put into the Wisconsin state pension, which is the best in the nation. So I can retire at 53, which my goal is to retire at 40, with hopefully help with rental properties and scaling the landscaping business. So we'll see if I can get there, but yeah.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So what's your vision for the next, I mean, this landscaping company could obviously consume all of your time, and it probably is right now.
Yeah.
Like, what is your vision for the next 5-10 years? Do you see yourself continuing to do firefighting, or more landscaping, or more rentals, or?
Yeah, it's kind of hard because like ever since high school, so I remember sitting senior year in this class getting so sick of drama in high school and just wanting to get out and do all these things. And I just wrote down my vision list. And at the time, I didn't really know what a vision board was, but I just wrote it down. And I had that piece of paper. And I went out and I got all that stuff in like 2 years. It was a duplex, a GMC Denali, a pit bull, lawn care business. And like within 2 years, I had all that. And then I'm like, okay, well, now what? Like I just accomplished what most guys do in like 35, 40 years of their life. And I didn't really know what to do next. And so to me, it's pouring into other people now. Like everyone that works for me, I just want to help them out. I got a guy that I helped start a dryer vent cleaning business. So he's got an LLC to his name now. Helping my brother start his pressure washing business. So he's got an LLC that he started for doing that. So I think for me, whenever it comes to the landscaping business, is to, one, just try and keep our head above water, and then two, grow it to the point where I can either buy out another company or they come to me and want to buy us out maybe or something.
Cool.
I really want to get into rental properties more and have that side of passive income.
Yep.
But I know that doesn't happen overnight. So
For sure.
yeah.
Just for Austin.
Yeah. Yeah.
Looks like it from the outside, but it absolutely was not.
Yeah.
So I mean, a lot of our why behind this podcast is the redefine success, right?
Yep.
So we've known each other for a little while. I know what you're about. Share a little bit more about what a successful life looks like to you. And man, just hearing you talk now about what you've accomplished, and really your motivation you've never really said money once. It's never, at least it's not sounding like that. It's not sounding like material things.
Yeah.
I mean, you became a firefighter to serve a community that helped you, and you're starting a business, and you're pouring into others in your business and helping them start businesses. Like, share a little bit more about what success looks like for you.
Sure. Yeah, to me, it's always been chase the dream and not the money. Like the dream was a lawn care business with my brother and our close friends mowing. And it got to the point now where we got people from the community reaching out that want to mow for us, and now I can help those guys too, not just our friends. And I feel like where people get it wrong in this day and age is they see the social media side of like making millions and like being 21 years old and a TikTok star or whatever, like raking in the money. Like that's not realistic. That's not real. That's like, that's not going to happen. You got to. So I think success would be doing what you love, because it's 80% of your life that you're going to be working, and like you have to work. You can't be sitting on your mom's couch doing day trading and all that, you know, like, so, and then pouring in other people. Like life is all about relationships. And that's what I learned after reaching all those goals at 20, 21 years old, is like relationships is what matter. That's what you're going to have for the rest of your life. You know, Like if I was doing this by myself, I probably would have quit way back when I was 19. Like it's because of these guys and because of helping these clients who can't mow their lawn or can't do these landscaping jobs. So helping them out. So
That's
Great.
Yeah.
Have you found it that your heart behind your business and your why behind your business has actually like benefited you in terms of scaling or whatnot? Because like you said, a lot of people see social media and I want to start this business so that I can make all this money. And so it kind of feels like, or it seems like, I'm going to start this business and I need to get employees and whatever, but you're really ultimately using people to benefit yourself as opposed to how you've started your business. I want to start my business. It's not even, I don't need to suck money from it. I don't need it to live on, but really I'm starting it to seemingly pour into more people and help them out and
Yep.
provide something for them. How have you seen that benefit your business, having a model that's really like servant leadership and all about your employees above yourself?
Yeah. I think that's in every aspect, even not just employees, but the clients too. If I got someone that can't cut down a tree in their backyard, like, yeah, sure, I got a chainsaw, I'll come out and do it, But then like with the employees, I don't think he'll mind me sharing this, but like Brett Holden having his son at 16, 17 years old, like I went to him instantly. Like the day I found that out, I'm like, hey, you're probably going to need a job, man. Like, let me teach you how to trim. First day he showed up and like was scalping all of my lawns, like walking backwards, like horrible. Now that guy can run holding the trimmer with one hand, sprinting, and it's like the most beautiful line. Like, and just seeing him now become one of my lead foreman guys, like it's awesome because he started off as one of my not worst guys, but someone who didn't have any skill to the job. Yeah. And now I can trust him. Like today, he's taking the truck and trailer and 2 guys and making sure that the lawns are being cut efficiently into a standard and all that. So
yeah, I just think that's beautiful.
Yeah, and that alone is worth starting the business for me. Is seeing Brett be able to do that. Yeah. I'm fine if I have to sell it tomorrow because that's worth it.
Doesn't that kind of just take the pressure off too? Like if you're in it for yourself and you're in it to make money and it's all about the bottom line and like growing your wealth, right? And obviously that's part of it for a lot of people, and that's not a bad thing. It's part of it for me, for sure. But doesn't it kind of take the pressure off when the focus is on serving others and serving your clients and serving your employees and making a bigger impact than just growing your bottom line? Because you can do that. No matter what the bottom line is, you can do that. You can serve others as a business owner, not as a business owner. But I just think that it takes the pressure off, right? Of doing it for the right reasons. And I would encourage any young entrepreneur to really start with why I'm doing this and really think that through of like, really think, why am I doing what am I doing? And like you said, you invest 80% of your time, and a lot of people more than that in work. I can't imagine going to a job that I don't enjoy, that I'm not passionate about, that I'm doing just to collect a paycheck. Like, I cannot imagine that life.
Yeah.
So really, really think deep down why, and if money's a part of it, it should be a part of it. But there should also be a greater part of it, because if that's it, I can promise you, once you achieve that level of money success,
you'll be unfulfilled.
Unfulfilled, and what else? What you know what I mean?
What's next?
For sure.
Yeah,
for sure. So
I think like you're always going to have pressure. You're always going to be stressed out, and so it's what are you going to fall back on to try and help you get out of that?
Yep.
And so then that's where taking that time and being like, all right, I can help this person out, or taking a minute and being like, all right, yeah, like I was able to help out these employees or these clients, does relieve that pressure, like what you're saying.
Yep.
There's something else that you said I was going to say something about, but yeah.
I know you're a man of faith, and that's a foundation for me in my business. And like, I can't imagine being a business owner without being a Christian.
Yeah.
Share a little bit about that, of like how you kind of commingle faith and business.
Yeah. For me, that was just how I grew up, was in a Christian family. Like I went to a Christian academy school in Atlanta, and we would have to wear our button-up shirts, khaki shorts, like very formal, and nothing like that around here. Then when I went to Cooley and obviously graduated in Holman, so to me, it's just always been an aspect of my life, and I definitely needed that whenever I lost my dad. And I can see where families that don't have a faith-based family, where they could go down the wrong path if something like that were to happen to them. Whenever it relates to my business, it's the same thing. Like whenever you have struggles, which you're going to have, and things don't go smooth, like it's what you fall back on or what you go to in those times of need.
Yeah. Yeah, when Jesus is your foundation, because I think even the conversation we're having right before this, that's the whole point is, if my life and identity and whatever and my foundation is tied up in all these other things, materialistic things, money, success, my business, whatever, well, those things come and go. Like success in terms of money, wealth, exterior things, that comes and goes. Well, if that gets washed out and that's my foundation, I mean, I'm not left with much. But if Jesus is my foundation in my business and my life, like truly my foundation, then I can operate a business the way you do with like open hands of, hey, I can bless. I'm blessed by having this business, and I'm blessed to be a blessing. I can give back. I can pour back. But it's with open hands. Like God gives and God takes away. If he takes away, okay, well then it is what it is. It was an awesome season. I got to help some people. But I think that's the beauty of
just being at peace.
Being a Christian in business. I couldn't imagine doing real estate like that.
For sure. Could you imagine like all of the ups and downs of real estate and the motions of people buying and selling and inspections going wrong, financing falling through, and like, could you imagine not just if that was your guiding compass and your success or failure was dependent on that? Holy smokes, what a roller coaster of emotion.
But I also know me aside from being a Christian, I know my life and who I am without Jesus. And I couldn't be a good business person anyways. All the stuff that we talk about and what's my heart and what's my why and what's important in being the way I am to my clients isn't because of anything that's Keegan or I learned these phrases of this is how I should be. Yeah. Aside from Jesus, I'm not great. I don't have the right patience. I don't have the level of being able to deal with these people all the time, or the stresses of just daily life, let alone business stress. I don't have that in me aside from Christ. So I couldn't imagine ever getting through it. So
yesterday in premarital counseling, Ray talked about you're either approaching a storm, you're in a storm, or you're on the back end of a storm. And that's just a matter of fact is life. You go through storms, whether that's in business or in life. And you can try to control as much as you can and do everything the right way, but there is going to be times where there's just things that are completely out of your control that happen for one reason or another, and you have to have a foundation to fall back on. And for us, that's Jesus. So,
100%
for sure.
Yep.
So, to the young business owner, the young entrepreneur, what's one thing they can start doing today? Like if they're listening to this right now and like, dang, Austin did this, Colton did this, Keegan is working on it.
Yeah. What the heck?
But specifically to landscaping, just because that's such an easy thing that get your real estate license, you have to be 18 and you have to go through a course in licensing. And to be a landscaper, you got to go find a mower. Or, dude, I've used the homeowner's mower before. You don't even need to have one. If somebody has one, just say, hey, I'll hop on your mower and mow. So like what's one thing somebody can start doing today to move in that direction?
I would say that there's two things. One, you got to pick something that you're passionate about. And if you still can't decide that, well, then pick something that you like have a history with, and that could be like your family. So we'll stick with the passionate one. Like find something that you are passionate about. To me, like I enjoy mowing lawns, like the satisfaction afterwards, or doing a landscaping job and the job satisfaction after doing a landscaping job. So it's something that I enjoy because that 80% of your life doing it, it's quite a while, from 18 to 65, 70 for some people. So that can help you decide what business you want to either work for or start or whatever. And if that still doesn't help you out, well then like look at what your family's doing or your friends are doing, because you've probably seen them doing it. So you have some experience with it. And then that way you can go to them and bounce ideas off of them, not ideas, but questions off of them, and try and get them to help you, you know. So I think that's 2 easy ways to try and figure out what should you do. And if it is lawn or landscaping, then like we said before, you just kind of got to do it. Just get in there, borrow that client's mower, use your dad's mower, go buy one, take a loan out or whatever. So
Yeah.
Right. There's always marketplace. I mean,
yeah.
sometimes they're just giving them away.
They are.
Keegan Walls in his extra garage has one if you know how to fix it. If you know how to fix mowers, it doesn't run right now. But if you want a free mower and you can fix it, you can have
It's all
it.
yours.
It's beautiful. And
What
green.
about, I see this all the time with the people that are post-college, post-high school, trying to find what my calling is or what I'm passionate about. And a lot of people find, well, I'm passionate about golf, or I'm passionate about sports, or you know what I mean? And those are the things that most kids are exposed to, is sports, athletics, golf, social media. I think the school system does a terrible job of exposing kids to what it's like to be an entrepreneur, what it's like to be in the trades, what it's like to work in all of these different, I mean, because that's the point of school, right? Is to prepare you for a job.
Right.
But so many people don't, no one would ever say I'm passionate about being a landscaper, right? Right. I mean, like I felt for me, it was more, my internal drive was I wanted to be an entrepreneur and a business owner. Landscaping was just the first stepping stone of that for me.
Yeah.
I do like having nice stripes and the satisfaction of the stripes in the lawn. But what, like for people who haven't even been exposed to that stuff, who don't have family in the business or what would you say to those people who are maybe passionate about their hobbies, but don't really have any professional passion?
I was going to say like the leverage triangle. Have you guys heard of that at all?
I have not.
So just picture like a pyramid. The bottom one would be labor. So using other people's time and having them work for you so that you get more time back, you know? So if you can figure out a way for that to happen with your hobby, if it's golfing or any sports or sales or whatever, doing that. Then the next one was media. So like what we're doing now, you know, like there's everyone that I keep talking to says like media is like today's, or like whenever gold was really big and that was the big rush, like that's today's thing is media. Like we're all like, if you can get people's attention and get paid for it, like that's what you should be going after. And so just like kind of what you guys are doing here, that's what I'm trying to bring to our business is recording. So like getting GoPros out on the mowers, and I know that that's also kind of what every young kid is wanting to do now is be a what do they call
An
it?
influencer?
Influencer. Yeah. Maybe don't start off doing that.
Right.
Like find something that can actually pay the bills. Right. But then if you can get into that and get people's attention and get paid for doing something that you enjoy, like that would be huge. And that's what I was going to try and say was if they have a hobby that they don't really know how to make money with, well, then maybe try and get people's attention with it by recording yourself. The other two was capital and code or software. So capital, using other people's money, make you money, and then software, if you can come up with something that people can use, like you make it once and then it's out there forever for people to use. So
Is that from a book?
it is, yeah.
I don't remember what it is.
I got it in my notes here. Have
Um,
you read it?
No, I haven't. That sounds really intriguing.
The
Like it's something I should read.
Almanac of Naval Ravikant.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have not heard of that.
I have not either. I'll
Yeah.
put it on the list though.
Yeah.
I'm not
That's great.
I'm not what you call a reader.
I'm not either. I can't stand reading.
I can do audiobooks. I'm
I'm a
just too
listener.
ADD
Yeah.
because I can't comprehend what I'm reading, because as soon as I start reading it, my brain is going, man, I think Boston and Miami plays tonight.
Yeah.
I wonder if Miami's going to finish it. And I go, oh my gosh, I got through 3 chapters and I didn't even absorb any of the stuff I just read.
Yeah. I cannot stand reading, but if there's 2 books I recommend, it's The Tipping Point by Jimmy Evans. I don't know if you guys are big end times people, but like I'm all into end time stuff. Jesus coming back, and like
I'll read that.
He wrote that in like 2019, so just before COVID, and he just came out with another one now that I still haven't gotten my hands on to read it, but a lot of really good stuff in there, and it's kind of freaky looking back at it and seeing what happened like right after he wrote it and how all that stuff kind of came true. Then the other one was it's Ed Milet's book.
The Power of One More.
Power of One More.
Yeah. Haven't read that one, but I like him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Cool. So you said ideally you'd like to retire 40, 45-ish.
Yeah.
So at that time, Colton's 40, 45. What do you want? I mean, what do you want your legacy to be in business and the impact that you have? What do you want that to look like? What do you want to be known for or known as?
Known one as a faith-based Christian man that like just pours in other people and helps them out. You know, I always want to be that servant leader, not just whenever I own the business, but even afterwards. I want to keep doing that. My plan, which I don't like, I trust God and know that He's going to take care of me, so I don't want to plan out too much, but my plan is to do the firefighting until 40. And then at that point, either if I still have the lawn or landscaping business, keep doing that until I can access my state pension until 53. And also be living off of my rental property income. So trying to take that all the way there.
What do you want that time to look like? If like 40 years is pretty young for most people to retire, and I've thought about like what does that even look like, because I've experienced some level of financial security and passive income through real estate that if I wanted to retire, I probably could. But what is that? Am I going to go play golf and fish every day for the rest of my life? You know what I mean? Like, what is that?
I think
what does that look like if you retire at 40?
I think for me, it's being there for my family and my kids, and like not having a dad makes me want to be there 100 times more for my kids. And so he was 40 whenever he passed away. And so if I want to retire at 40, I want to be there for my kids, all that and more. So, if it's, and I got to stay busy. I cannot stand sitting on the couch doing stuff. So I know that I'm going to say that I retire, but I'm going to still do stuff if that's working at another fire department, or maybe I even get to 40 and I'm like, you know what, I'm going to stay doing this until 53. So it's a goal of mine for 40. But I think for me, it's freeing up that time. Like I want to be there for my kids so that I can go to their games and help them out and just be there for them in life. So
love it.
Yeah.
That's a great goal. And yeah, dude, I would just say you're super impressive. I mean, at such a young age, I think that's something that everybody can take away. If you're a young entrepreneur or a young business person, start now. Yeah. I mean, I'm the oldest one here. I wish I would have gotten real estate years before I did, but start young and set yourself up for the future. But sometimes it takes hard work. I mean, you're doing firefighting and running a business and all this stuff. It's not just this easy passive thing right away, but your goal is obviously to get there and to get to that point where it's a passive income and I can retire at a young age. Right. But just like social media doesn't portray, that takes a lot of hard work on the back end, right? I can't just, well, I've never danced before, but I'm going to be a dancer influencer. It's like, well, no. How about you try to go learn the skill, be the best one, and that's why people have that. That's when you're an influencer. Then, like if I'm the best landscaper, and then I try to be a influencer, I got to learn the trade and learn the skill first. That's why I have influence, because I actually have mastered and I'm good at this one thing.
So many people just see that end product and they think that they can just start there. Right. Yep. And then they wonder, how can you start whenever you're they see someone that's successful, you know, and it takes time. Like I had a buddy whenever we were seniors in high school, he's like, I'm like, what are you going to do after this? He didn't have a plan. He's like, I don't know. I'm going to be a millionaire by 22, he told me. And I'm like, what's your plan? Like, what are you going to do? He goes, I don't know. It's just going to happen.
It's gonna happen.
I'm like, all right, buddy, you do that.
Like manna from heaven.
Yeah.
Oh, cool cow.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah. So
Yeah, it takes work.
it does.
For sure. Work and consistency and time. I mean, you take hard work, you do it for a long enough period of time,
Yep.
consistently, day in and day out, not work hard for a month and then take 6 months off and then work hard. Like it's got to be consistent hard work for a period of time, and you learn from your mistakes, and you keep doing it, and that's how you win. So,
Yep.
but most people get bored after a while of doing the same thing over and over, of finding those high leverage activities, and they just get bored and jump to a new thing before that thing actually hits the up curve. So,
Fall in love with getting bored.
love it.
You might find some great success in falling in love with the boring activities.
As long as those boring activities
Are
are
the right-
productive
yeah.
activities.
Yeah.
Yep, for
Yeah.
sure.
I just listened to a podcast where he said, learn to like overcome boredom, or learn to live in boredom, because it's going to happen, you know. And otherwise, so many people try and start something new then, and that's not the right answer. Like, because you're going to find that same boredom or that same stress in another thing that you're learning or that you're doing then. So
Because the key to almost any business is going to be a level of repetition and consistency.
yeah.
Well, repetition and consistency literally is boring.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you got to fall in love with it, and once you can enjoy it and be in that, then all of a sudden you start to get, that's repetition and consistency is what creates mastery.
Right.
You're becoming really good at something, which can lead to all the other things that we've been discussing. So.
Yep. Yeah.
Love it, man.
Yeah.
Well, we appreciate you being here. This was
Love it.
really, really good, and I'm sure any young entrepreneur, young kid, high school, college, I think lawn and landscape is a great starting point, and I think it's a great point of view for somebody to see what's possible with it.
Yeah.
So,
No, thank you very much. And I'd love to come back and do it all again and talk with you guys. And if anyone that's listening has any questions or wants some help, if it's lawn or landscaping or even just starting a business, definitely just reach out. And
awesome.
pretty sure you can find my number somewhere. So
Right.
Sounds
It's
good.
it's
We'll
out
put
there.
it. We'll put it out there.
yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
Appreciate
Thank you.
it.
Hey, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in. We sincerely hope that you learned something today and found value in today's episode. As always, we super appreciate your support and hope you can all find a way this week to pay it forward.